CEO Town Hall organized by participating companies of the Insurance Careers Movement, which is a grassroots movement aimed at collectively spreading the word that insurance is the career trifecta. It's stable, rewarding, and limitless. I'm Kirsten Marr of Valin Analytics, and I will be your moderator today. Before we start, we'd like to share some exciting news. As of a few minutes ago, we had 925 registrations in the US, Canada, Bermuda, the UK, and as people are telling us now, Switzerland, Mexico, Ireland, and the list goes on. Many of the 925 registrations represent companies who are hosting their employees in their company boardrooms. So I think it's safe to say that we have well over 1,000 people joining us today. That's testament to the momentum that has already been created by the Insurance Careers Movement, and in particular to the leadership of Hamilton Insurance Group Chairman and CEO Brian Duperreault. Brian has led the industry in so many ways throughout his illustrious career, and we're honored that he has agreed to give his time and attention to this initiative. Brian knows that the U.S. market is facing a massive talent gap, that all markets need an infusion of diversity, and that the insurance industry's negative public image is hampering efforts to attract a new generation of professionals. So we're delighted to lead off the call with our host, Brian Duperreault, who's joined by other industry CEOs, as well as 3 millennials who've chosen insurance as their career. Before I pass the call to Brian, a couple quick housekeeping details. We will be inviting questions after our last speaker finishes. You can submit a question at any time during the talk in the question box on your panel, and we'll save those till the end. Also, we're going to be live tweeting throughout the call, so please feel free to tweet, favorite, and forward using the hashtag #CareerTrifecta. And now I'd like to turn the CEO Town Hall over to Brian Duperreault. Brian?
Thanks, Kirsten. First of all, I want to thank my fellow CEOs who have joined us on the call today. I appreciate your commitment to this effort. You represent markets, companies, and organizations dedicated to our industry, and your presence today indicates how important the insurance careers movement is. And I'd like to thank the 3 millennials who will be speaking today: Tiana Richards of Marsh Global Analytics, Ben Thomas of Lloyd's Delegated Authorities Division, and Lizette Delgado of JVS Insurance Agency, who were chosen from thousands of young insurance professionals working in the industry. I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say about why they chose insurance as a career. So anyway, why are we here today? Kirsten mentioned some of the issues that our industry is grappling with. You know, I've been in the industry a long time. We never had a great image. We've always been considered boring and conservative and not very diverse, and in particular, young people don't see much point in what we do. These always have been issues, but now it's become critical that we fix this. I once said that insurance should be catnip to millennials looking for a purpose-driven career. What other industry provides protection and security or supports growth or recovery from disaster, to name a few? We clearly have to do a better job of explaining what we do and why it matters. Now, many of the companies and associations represented on this call have recruiting and outreach programs that are designed to attract a new generation of employees to our industry. Individually, they're very effective, but our concern is that without a full-court industry-wide press, events will overtake action. We'll be facing gaps in management and new talent that make it difficult, if not impossible, to meet the needs of the digital world we're living in. The irony is that of all the times to choose insurance, this has got to be one of the most exciting. With the sharing economy, technological advances, and associated emerging risks, this is the brave new world in insurance. And you're going to hear more about this from my fellow CEOs and from Tiana, Ben, and Lizette. So my message to all the young insurance professionals on this call is, we need you. We need you to help us spread the word. You've chosen a career in insurance, so yours is the best voice for other millennials to hear. As we lead up to Insurance Careers Month in February, please get involved with the movement. You'll hear more about how to do this from some of today's speakers and from the information you'll get in the next couple of weeks. So now I'd like to turn it over to Inga Beal. Inga, thanks for your leadership and support of Insurance Careers Movement.
Oh, well, thank you, Brian, and hello, everyone. And you know, to me, insurance is really one of the most dynamic, interesting, and truly world-changing industries there is. You know, it touches everything all around the world and makes such a difference just when it all matters most. We're here to provide support for all of the human endeavor that goes on, and we're there to help pick up the pieces in the face of disaster. And for me, during the nearly 35-year-long career I've had, it's that social purpose that's kept me in this sector. And it still continues to drive me today. I have found it an incredibly rewarding career, and I've seen firsthand the huge impact insurance has on business, communities, and economies just when the worst happens. You know, I never imagined I'd face so many interesting challenges in my working life, from learning as an underwriter about how to assess risks and price them, through to what's happened in my career, the rise of the importance of the actuary and helping underwriters get that pricing right. And if I look back as to how we approached assessing risk in years gone by, it's not a patch on the sophisticated approach we have to risk modeling these days. So the world has really moved on in insurance. And it's also a really global sector. I've been able to learn about all sorts of countries, cultures, and different risks from all over the world. You also learn so much about all sorts of different types of businesses, because we're all about supporting them to grow and invest for the future. That means we've got to understand all of their business models and, importantly, the changing nature of the risks that they're facing. I found over the years that seeing how we help people put their lives back together after disaster has struck is positively the most fulfilling thing about my job. I recently had the opportunity to visit Christchurch. That's a city in New Zealand that had its central business district pretty much destroyed by a couple of major earthquakes back in 2010 and 2011. And I had a tour around the city a few weeks ago to see how it's being rebuilt and to see new communities coming together. And much of this was funded by insurers and global reinsurers. The Lloyd's market itself paid 5.6 billion New Zealand dollars towards this rebuilding, and it was extremely uplifting for me to actually go and see what they're doing with the money. And lives are being put back together. Now, Christchurch, that suffered from a peril that's been around forever, earthquake, but the world is changing around us at a pace that we've not seen before. We're faced with a future full of rapidly evolving risks, and increasingly these are man-made risks. And the digital revolution, the technology that Brian talked about earlier, this is going to shape our world more so than any other revolution that has gone before. But with all of this change and all the new risks, and as insurers, risk is our business, we need to rise to these challenges in the years ahead. Now, that evolution for us won't be about throwing away the decades of experience and the wisdom that the modern global insurance industry is founded upon. What it will be about is enhancing and building upon the strong foundation and skills we already have, and recognizing that digitalization and innovation is creating opportunities for so many of us that were just undreamt of 20 years ago. And young professionals hold the future of the insurance industry in their hands. So this is a hugely important initiative to be part of. Many of the millennials participating today, you already know how rewarding and purposeful working in the insurance industry can be. But the reality is we, some of the older folk, haven't been so great at telling that story. So we need your help. We need your help to tell the world's up-and-coming generations that insurance is the place to be. We need to get fit for the future because we have an incredibly important job to do. For Lloyd's, we've been around over 300 years, and we want to be around for at least another 300 years, underwriting that human progress. And we certainly can't do that without all of you being part of that future. So thanks for listening, and now I'll pass over to Mike McGavick, the CEO of XL Catlin.
Thank you very much, Inga, and thank you, Brian, for your leadership in putting this forum together. And most of all, thank you to the audience, to the people who have joined this call in their hope that this industry can be a place for their career and for many of their peers. Now, that's what I'd like to focus on. I'd like to focus on what this industry will need beyond today and into the future if we're going to really be successful at meeting the challenges of mutating risk. Risk is changing all around us, all the time, and it's changing ever more rapidly. And our industry is going to have to adapt and have to change and rise to the challenge of creating new products into the future to meet that rising rate of change. The reality is it will be the next generation and the generation after that that will meet that challenge, not the people in charge today. It's the people on this call. One of the most important things the industry will have to do to really reflect the world and to meet the challenge of the rate of change going on and the change of risk is to have a more diverse workforce. The reality is if you looked at my contemporaries and my peers, we tend to look a lot like each other. The reality is we must have a diverse mindset, a diverse set of backgrounds, and we really have to meet all of the boxes of diversity if we're going to have the people in the room who collectively can rise to the challenge. So one of the things I would say to you is not only thank you for being a part of this movement, but importantly, challenge that we continue to diversify our colleagues, that we continue to diversify the schools of thought that go into creating solutions. Don't accept that it has to be like it was, and you be the leaders of the change that must come. I think there are two concrete ways in which you can do that right from where you are, right from where you work today when you go back to your offices or wherever you are in the world. Number one, make sure that your companies are providing you with the right tools to enable your success. Are you being helped in understanding how leadership works? Are you being given opportunities to take on challenging assignments? And if not, raise your hand and say, we need to do this. Are there programs to recognize rising leaders, and can you participate in them? And if not, challenge the leaders of your business to make sure you have those best practices available to help yourselves build your career and therefore be able to go to your friends who aren't in this industry and say, come on this journey with me, because we're going to help you grow as an individual and we're going to do important work together. Don't accept if it's not there. Make it so. The second thing then, and the most important thing relative to really helping what we do around the world be more effective, and that's real simple. Make sure when you do have that opportunity, raise your hand, use your voice, and share with your elders, as it were, your insight into what risks are happening, how they're developing, and how they should be solved. Don't accept that all those people who've been here longer know better. Know that you have a unique perspective to offer on risk because you're living it in a different way. You are the most technologically advanced and sophisticated cohort in human history. That gives you the opportunity to lead and to be thinking of new solutions in ways that no one else in the companies you're a part of can. So I would encourage you in those two ways. Number one, if you are not getting the opportunity to advance, challenge your leadership to provide you with that opportunity. And then second, when you're given the chance to contribute, raise your voice. Make sure you are doing all you can to make sure your perspective, your view of how risk is going to be best served is being heard. Now, one of our colleagues has already been recognized for this, is our next speaker. It's one of the handful of millennials that we chose to actually have speak to their peers. Gianna Richards, as mentioned before, is the Vice President of March Global Analytics. Gianna, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. McGavick. Through my career, I have learned that insurance is an ever-expanding field of opportunities for people with various backgrounds and origins. My career started as a bookkeeping assistant in Serbia, only to change through education to computer science and technology in New York, after which I found my place in insurance. I started out in 2008 as a data analyst with Marsh's Global Risk Management Group, working on the first version of Market Connect. This is now a multi-million-dollar analytical external application that we provide to privileged carriers. From Global Risk Management via Market Connect, I have moved into Carrier Consulting, which is now Insurer Consulting Group. I had the opportunity to get myself involved in sales and interactions with carriers. This has enabled me to understand the other side of the coin, what carriers want to see of our analytics and how they view business with insurance broker and where they want to grow, as well as how they are structured internally. Market Connect grew from 1 to 4 countries, and so did I, straight into March Global Analytics. Since necessity is mother of invention, as demand from carriers grew, so did colleagues' needs to meet them. In 2012, I developed my own application for colleagues in the US that enabled them to look at the data from their perspective and get meaningful reports in a timely manner. Through interaction with different colleagues in groups, I have learned internal operations to significant detail and became go-to person for placement, consulting, financial, compliance, clients, and various other reporting in the US. Lately, I started getting curious in learning how now business from the client side. So I have also learned some of the actuarial sciences and how we use it to determine prices and do what-if analysis for our clients and benchmark them against their peers. So I have gone from no titles to vice president in 8 years. My small application from 2012 is about to go global by becoming a part of one other internal application that we are launching for both computer and mobile, for which a few of my colleagues and I are traveling globally these days. On a daily basis, I'm dealing with colleagues from several countries in various teams, IT, business, and third-party vendors. I have learned to develop applications in several different business intelligence tools, learned several databases, and got to learn the business from inside, carrier, and client side, and globally too. I get to learn to innovate, to collaborate, travel, and build relationships and accumulate knowledge worldwide. And I'm still excited to get to work every day wondering what it may bring. Times are changing. Everything is becoming more digitized and moving at a faster pace. Everything is needed yesterday, including new talent. What's valued the most is eagerness, courage, and capability to learn and adapt. Anybody with these skills can find their career in insurance, in any field, anywhere on the globe. Our industry is a well-kept secret. It's a gem for development and growth. If I knew all of the opportunities the industry will provide, I would have definitely joined sooner. It's an old industry with a lot of data too, and plenty of opportunities to grow in different directions. My experience starting in data analytics is a proof that careers in the insurance industry are truly limitless. I also get the honor and privilege to be in the same room and speak in this town hall today with our president, John Doyle, to whom I'm now passing the call.
Thank you, Tiana, and congratulations to you for being selected to speak on behalf of the movement, and thank you for everything you're doing at Marsh. You're making us better every day. I also want to thank everybody for joining the call. Marsh is a proud supporter of the movement, and I really appreciate them taking the time to organize the webcast, and for my colleagues on the call for supporting the effort. Developing talent for our industry is not only worthy, there's an immediate need for us, and I'm personally glad to be part of it. Our industry is changing, and it's changing pretty rapidly. I think that's exciting, and I think that creates exciting opportunities for everyone. When I look back at my career, it strikes me how fortunate I've been to be part of an industry that creates real value and has such a positive impact on society. I may sound hokey, but I really think our business is pretty cool. I truly believe the work we do matters. It allows our clients and societies to thrive and grow, and it keeps the economies moving forward. Infusing new talent into our industry really helps keep us relevant, and innovation in what we do is absolutely critical. The industry, as I mentioned, is changing rapidly. At Marsh, we frame those changes around 3 themes: data, distribution, and capital. And it's within the context of those trends that I see the opportunity for young professionals to really help shape our future as client expectations shift and the digital experience becomes a key differentiator for all of us. So let's talk about data for a second. I recently read a report published by IBM that 90% of the world's data has been created in just the last 2 years. I mean, think about that for a moment. 90% of the data was created in the last 2 years. Our challenge as an industry is turning that data into insights for our clients. It's an area where we are competing for talent with Google's and other innovative companies all around the world. I mentioned distribution as well. We're seeing rapid disruption and innovation in distribution platforms and technologies with the explosion of the insurtech industry. We're just at the beginning of the disruption curve, but it's happening fast, and that's an exciting time to be in our industry and why companies need young professionals with new ideas. It's a race between innovation for established companies and distribution for startups. Young professionals looking for a startup type environment are now starting to see pockets of true innovation and entrepreneurial drive within traditional insurance companies, as well as startup opportunities within our industry. Lastly, on the capital side, we're seeing an influx of alternative capital enter the market. Investors, new investors, are interested in the liabilities that we can originate on their behalf. There's an opportunity across the entire value chain in the industry to use that capital in a way to provide better solutions for all of our clients. All 3 of these trends provide a great opportunity for people and for our industry to provide better solutions than ever for our clients. I've been spending a fair amount of time with the young professionals within Marsh, and one of the things I hear from them pretty consistently is their desire to have the work they do align with their personal values. At Marsh, we like to say that we're there for our clients in the moments that matter. So when floods strike, political chaos may disrupt a market, a company gets hacked, our clients call us first. And as I mentioned before, I do believe the work we do matters. We provide the basis for risk-taking and therefore economic and social advancement. Aligning our personal values with our professional opportunities is not difficult in the insurance industry at all. So in closing, I hope that all of you here today on this webcast share in my optimism for our industry, for our future, and that you'll all help us attract young professionals and millennials into our business. We need ambassadors like you to help spread the word. With that, let me turn it over to Bob Rusbelt. Bob's the CEO of the Independent Insurance Agents and Brokers of America. Bob?
Thank you, John, and thank you to all my industry colleagues. This is an absolutely essential endeavor for our industry, but particularly for the independent agent and broker system, particularly in the United States. Let me give you a brief snapshot of the insurance industry labor pool. 25% of insurance industry personnel will be within 5 to 10 years of retirement by 2018. 60% of current insurance professionals are over the age of 45 and looking to retire over the next 15 years. By 2020, the Bureau of Labor Statistics says there will be over 400,000 open insurance jobs. That is absolutely astonishing, and a huge talent gap. The average age of the agency principals with 20% or more ownership in their agencies is 55 years and old, with 17% of those principals age 66 or older, according to a study that we sponsored at the Big I. There are plenty of entrepreneurial opportunities in the independent agent and broker system, that's obvious. 55% of young people would consider a career in insurance after learning more about the opportunities. And those of you on the call who already have chosen a career in our great industry are the most powerful voice in this regard. Here's what we should be doing and telling young professionals about our careers. Insurance careers are stable. Even when economic times are bad, individuals and businesses will always need insurance. But keep in mind, insurance is the only product that you have to buy, but you never want to use. Except my wife wants to use my life insurance, I believe. Those of us who have worked in the insurance industry find our careers very rewarding. We help people and businesses recover after a disaster. Look at what's going on in Tennessee right now with the fires, Louisiana with the recent flooding. We provide security and peace of mind to families and to businesses, and our agencies and brokerages at all times and our companies contribute to charitable causes and local community organizations. We just sent a significant check today to a bunch of independent agents and brokers in Tennessee whose some agencies have been severely hampered due to the fires. Insurance professionals have a number of career paths they can follow and many types of jobs to choose from. We like to say, whatever your interest, there is a career for you in the insurance industry. Most importantly, we are building an insurance talent pipeline through programs like Invest that will work to educate and engage young people in insurance and insurance careers. The goal of the insurance talent pipeline is to assist young professionals in receiving the education and training they need to succeed in their careers in insurance agencies and brokerages, become owners or equity participants in that agency, or to work for an insurance company. Interestingly, U.S. News & World Report over the last couple of years has ranked insurance agents and brokers as the number 84 best job in the United States of America out of the top 100, and the third best job in sales and marketing in the United States. So we have objective publications saying this is a great career choice and opportunity. The job openings and the career opportunities are limitless for young people in the insurance industry. In order for our industry to thrive and grow tomorrow, we must get young people interested in insurance careers today. All of us on the call are asking for your help, and we hope you'll want to be involved. Now I'll pass it on to my friend June Holmes, Chief Operating Officer and Treasurer at PCI. June?
Thank you, Bob. PCI is an insurance trade association, and we have a unique role advocating for this great industry before state, federal, and international policymakers, and we are a voice for the property casualty insurers in the media. PCI is proud to be a founding member of the Insurance Careers Movement, and I'm honored to participate in this town hall today. As PCI's COO, I'm in constant communication with the CEOs of our member companies, who are always looking for and retaining new talent for their companies. Insurers have a compelling and meaningful mission that can be fulfilling and personally rewarding for the next generation of talent. Insurance is the foundation for keeping a family's economic safety net strong and supporting growth for businesses of all sizes. I personally have spent my entire career in this field, 34 years and counting, and I encourage those of you who are new to this field to spread the word about how great our industry really is. As you know, our industry has a rich history of helping families rebuild after tragedy strikes, of providing peace of mind to homeowners and motorists, and helping injured workers. And we encourage you to spread the word through blog posts or social media to encourage your peers, as you have, to take a chance on our industry. There's no question we need to tell our story more and highlight all the good we do to help policyholders and the economy, and we hope you'll join us in this effort by being a champion of this movement. As you're telling others about this great industry, it's important to note the insurance industry has a place for nearly every career field. There are a variety of different jobs available. It's not just claims adjusters and actuaries. This is a particularly exciting time for our industry. Insurers are innovating new solutions to meet the demands of cybersecurity, green technology, the sharing economy, and other emerging trends. Insurance makes these dreams a reality. This is something you can highlight when talking to your peers who are looking for either a new challenge or simply figuring out what career best suits them. As we mentioned before, the insurance industry faces a wave of retirements in the coming years, and companies will be looking to recruit and retain a new generation of professionals. Insurers are committed to diversity and inclusion and attracting talent that represents our diverse client base, and we encourage you to share your personal experiences as we have today. Now I'll pass the call to Ben Thomas, the second of the three millennials speaking this morning. Ben is an audit executive in the Delegated Authorities Division at Lloyd's. Ben?
Thank you, Ms. Holmes, and thank you very much for having me. Before I joined Lloyd's, I studied at an institution that prided itself on industry engagement. This meant that each week I was exposed to different organizations such as the insurance sector and the work of Lloyd's. This introduction, in combination with economic, technological development within the city, provided the stimuli that led me to pursue an internship at Lloyd's. I soon realized that insurance is all around us and touches practically everything we do in life and in business. During my internship, I joined a project where a system was being implemented to take over manual processes within the Delegated Authorities team. Being part of this advancement allowed me to understand further how technology is enhancing and streamlining the processes to make them faster, smarter, and more efficient. This opportunity to be part of integrating technology into the processes at Lloyd's was a major factor that enticed me to join the team full-time and help evolve the strong foundations built over the years. The insurance sector is an attractive employment prospect for many reasons. The opportunities to continue to educate yourself are endless. With hard work and commitment to the industry, climbing the corporate ladder is certainly achievable within a variety of roles and departments. Aside from this, the industry is connected on a global platform, allowing you to interact with businesses across the globe and gain experience of their working practices. In particular, I have worked especially close with teams in India to help articulate our vision and create an exciting future. As technology is continually developing, more and more industries across the spectrum are feeling its impact and experiencing the disruption of automation and digitalization. The insurance sector is not exempt from this. Despite the advancements offered by artificial intelligence and machine learning, though, the insurance sector as a whole is still comparatively unexplored. This provides many exciting prospects to attract new, emerging talent to our field. By embracing these opportunities and creating new, innovative insurance processes, An excitement employment platform can be created designed to harness the power of AI combined with a specialist skill set developed over the centuries. Any negative perceptions I had from the industry resulted from a lack of knowledge, awareness, and little understanding of the opportunities the industry presents to young professionals. I believe I have the opportunity to further develop this industry in a world that is rapidly evolving. If you seek a career which creates real value, then insurance is an exciting place for you. Thank you. Now I'd like to pass the call to Peter Miller, President and CEO of the Institute.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks very much, Ben.
Oh, is that Peter?
Yes, it is.
Oh, perfect. I wasn't sure you were going to join us. Go ahead.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to join. I appreciate it very much. And thank you for everybody on this call and for your commitment to this effort. I'd like to reiterate just how important it is to have young professionals here on the call with us. While most of us doing the speaking today may be industry leaders, we're looking to all of you to be the leaders of tomorrow. It's only been through the dedicated efforts of young leaders that insurance and risk management became a profession at all. They helped create college risk management insurance departments. They conducted research to improve the science behind our field. And many organizations are looking to break out of the perception of insurance careers shared by many young people. These ideas have helped transform our industry. You know, a couple of years ago, the Institutes launched an industry-wide initiative to help solve the problem of attracting young people to our industry. And we called it My Path. There's a website out there, insuremypath.org, that features many stories about young risk management and insurance professionals leading the way. As you all know, we're once again in a position where we need young people to improve our field for the next generation. We need new ideas and energy as we deal with the challenges and opportunities posed by technology and global change. We need to be able to attract young people in order to make sure that we can continue to serve our customers well. For those of you on the call today working in the industry, we know some of the many great benefits insurance careers have to offer. Some of them have been mentioned. It allows us to make a difference in communities and to help others. Our industry is fundamentally about managing risk, protecting businesses, families, or communities from a variety of vulnerabilities. Insurance provides peace of mind and allows people to take risks that help the world progress, improve, and innovate. Our industry also offers the ability to balance life and work, with many companies offering flexible scheduling and career growth opportunities. Our industry also offers job availability and stability, as been mentioned earlier. My Path, the insurance career movement, and all other efforts represented here today are built to give you the ability to spread the word and show why this career offers limitless opportunities. Some other ways you can help are also by building relationships with not just other young professionals, but leaders within your organizations. Nurturing and mentoring young professionals can help their career growth and success. Take every opportunity to expand your knowledge, both in insurance and business. This will help set you up to lead our industry forward. Enact change in your organization. Companies are hiring young talent with the hope that they will be positive catalysts for change, helping organizations evolve as necessary to be successful in the future. I truly believe we work in a great industry that makes a difference in society, and I thank you again for taking this step and expressing your interest in learning more about becoming a future leader in our industry. It's now my pleasure to pass the call to Lizette Delgado, the third millennial participating in today's town hall.
Thanks, Mr. Miller, and to the Insurance Career Movement for putting this all together for us. And a very special thanks to everyone on the call and taking the time to be here with us. So a little bit about me. I was practically born into the insurance industry. My dad started the business around 23 years ago from scratch, not knowing a thing about insurance. He actually lost money on his first sale. Luckily, we've come a long way since then. But my background is a little far from the insurance industry. My first degree was in technical theater, and I worked in LA and New York right after college. And you know how kids are asked in school what they want to be when they grow up? Well, deep down, I kind of knew I was going to be an insurance agent, which doesn't seem as exciting as a doctor or a firefighter, but my dad was patient with me and allowed me to venture out. It actually helped me with building confidence and public speaking. I've technically been in the insurance industry for 12 years now, and I absolutely love it. As the years go by, I see how important our industry truly is. I help people insure and protect their financial assets, and that's a very rewarding feeling. I've made friendships along the way with my clients, even spending Thanksgiving and other holidays with a few of them. So I was born and raised in Miami, Florida, and along with the sun and being a beautiful place to live, I encounter young professionals constantly. I am the current president of the Miami Young Agents, and in a couple months I will be teaching for the Invest program. And that's actually a lot of fun because I work with high school students and help them acquire their 440 license. So I'm the first to technically invite them into our industry. And now we're facing a huge age gap, and it's even more important now to fill in those empty seats with people like you. The cool part is that our insurance world is constantly changing. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, I had an impression that the insurance professionals were old people who knocked on doors with their little briefcases in their hands, and I was completely wrong. We have a stigma, and it's one of the reasons why I like working directly with young professionals like me. There's so much more to it than just carrying around a little old briefcase. So after a decade of doing this, I decided to go back and get another degree in political science and law. Now I not only sell insurance, but I help write and push and fight for legislation that affects and influences my state's insurance laws. And to me, there is no greater honor than to serve and help be the voice of the consumers in Florida and be able to make an impact. Like Mr. Miller said before me, we can help make a difference in our communities and help others. So thank you for your time and good luck in your future endeavors. Next, I'd like to pass the call to Greg JACOBSON, the Co-Chief Executive Officer of the JACOBSON Group.
Thank you, Lisette, and thank you everybody for joining the call today. As CEO of the largest staffing and executive search firm in the U.S. insurance industry and a global recruitment player, my colleagues and I have a unique view on what the industry has to offer. Understanding social good is of significant importance to young professionals like you. I always like to point out that the insurance industry is critical to commerce, life, and family. Without insurance, doctors don't take the personal financial risk of operating on a patient. Without insurance, children of disabled or deceased parents may not be able to afford education. Without insurance, goods are not shipped around the world. There is no other industry that has the breadth of impact that the insurance industry does. And due to demographic shifts, there are few industries that can offer the pace of career growth that insurance can. All of this in an industry that offers jobs in virtually every corner of the real and virtual world. From the rural Midwest of the United States to financial centers like London, New York, and Munich, and reinsurance capitals like Bermuda. And if working from home is your thing, the industry is rapidly becoming a virtual network of workers from around the world. The insurance industry needs engineers, financial experts, technology innovators, lawyers, sales professionals, operations experts, teachers, marketers, and professionals with many other skills. In the United States, the industry's unemployment rate is below 2%. In fact, in October, it was actually 1.5%. We need more young professionals like you, and once they join us, as you can attest, they will rarely leave the industry. I am passionate about the insurance careers movement because I know that the only reason more young professionals don't seek out job opportunities in the industry is solely because they lack the awareness. This movement is about education. And now I'll pass the call to our last speaker today, Mark Watson, President and CEO of Argo Group. Mark?
Sorry, I forgot to turn off the mute button. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I've been an investor and operator in the insurance industry for a long time. In fact, most of my career, and I have to say, it's been a lot of fun. I know a lot of people, particularly when I was in school, were wondering why you'd want to be in the insurance business, and I spent as much time trying to get out of it as I did in it when I was younger. But then I started thinking about all the exciting things that go on in our industry and how many opportunities there really are depending upon what interests you and what you've trained to do in school. And I would say to you, keep an open mind because there's so many opportunities in our industry. If you're a creative person, then join a digital team. I'll come back to that in a minute. If you're an analytical person, join an actuarial team or a data science team. If you like being with people, join an insurance agency or the marketing team of an insurance company. If you like to think about things, consider being an underwriter. There's just so many different things to do in our industry as professionals. I'll tell you what's really fun for me is thinking about all the different, bringing all those things together and seeing my career grow over time and looking at where we are today as a company. And it's kind of fun when you're with your friends and they say to you, well, what do you do? And I always like to remind people that our purpose is securing the future of our policyholders, our employees, our shareholders, and the communities where we operate. And when I try to explain that to people in a simpler form, and I talk about our company, I talk about helping companies stay in business. And some of you have probably heard me say before that our industry really is the grease that keeps the wheels of commerce going. And I think it's an important part of our economy. And we play a huge role in that. I also like telling people when they're wondering what we do as an industry, that when you see things happen on television, chances are our industry is there to help out and get businesses going again and get people going again. I think the purpose of our industry is really important. The other thing I would say to you is as you move along life's road, whether you're in our industry or not, but hopefully our industry, find a few people to help you along the way. Mike McGavick mentioned earlier to speak up and say your mind and make sure that people are helping you grow. Find a mentor or two along the way. I can tell you that over the course of my career, I would not have gotten there on my own. I sought out a number of people to help me understand the business, understand how to be a better professional, and I would challenge and encourage you to do that. And with that, I'd actually like to turn the call back over to somebody who's helped me over the last 2 decades, Brian Duperreault.
Oh, well, thank you, Mark. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. So, we're ready now to take questions. And Kirsten, could you let everyone know how to do this?
Absolutely. Thank you, Brian. And thanks to all of our speakers. I thought this was a very engaging conversation. So we already have several questions coming in. All you have to do is type in your question in the question panel, and I will help you get it answered by some of the panelists. While you're doing that, let's get started with some of the ones that have come in during the session. One question was about what are the centralized resources and initiatives that help young people interested in insurance find out about opportunities that we have in our industry. And there's 3 panelists I'd like to have talk about that. I'd like to start with Inga Beal and then have both Peter Miller and Bob Rubspell from IIBA follow. Inga, I know you're supporting this initiative, Insurance Careers Movement, which is aimed at having young people in the industry be the ambassadors, for the industry to their peers and those coming up behind them. I also know that you are involved in another initiative helping to increase the diversity of insurance, of the talent in insurance. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that, and then we can hand it over to Peter Miller from the Institute to just mention again what the resources MyPath has, and then Bob from IIBA to talk a little bit about Invest in the Classroom. So Inga?
Yeah, thank you. And we had a festival. It was the 2nd year this year. It was called Dive In. And we started it in London initially because we wanted to make sure we were attracting the new talent, tech-savvy, young talent into our sector. And that part of that was about educating perhaps the people already working in insurance here in London. So we had a festival that took place over 3 or 4 days, had a host of different events, and a lot of it was about educating people on things like unconscious bias. Another thing was about providing toolkits for businesses to make sure that when they're hiring people, they've got diverse pipeline coming in. So there were all sorts of events, and a lot of it really was about celebrating the differences between us and really emphasizing how diverse teams can be better for business, particularly when you want to go into new markets and you want to be really innovative. So that was the whole festival, and we were delighted with the response. We had thousands of people join in a year ago. So this year we went global, and we decided we wanted to partner up with as many insurers, brokers, supporters of insurers, that included even regulators actually across the world. And we went global this year. We had events taking place in 16 different cities, in 10 countries, 4 continents. We had events in the US, we had events in Bermuda, and then all across Europe, into Asia, and over to Australia. And it really goes to show the interest there is and the passion there is in the insurance sector in enticing people into the sector. True celebration of diversity. And there is an app, it's called Dive In, and you can find out all sorts of information about it, including resources around what you can perhaps implement in your own businesses, how you can learn more about unconscious bias, etc. So check out the app, Dive In.
Thanks, Inga. Peter, do you want to talk a little bit more about MyPath and what young people can access there?
Sure. So insuremypath.org is the website, and that's an effort to provide resources to young people to learn more about the industry. I mean, what we did was we did some research. We conducted research to find out what people knew about the industry, and we found out that most people don't know. Young people don't know about the industry at all. But when they did, there were misconceptions. So what MyPath attempts to do is to provide more information about the various functions in the industry. It talks about what the industry does in terms of society. It provides information about internships, about funding for the cost of living of internships, provides information about scholarships should someone want to be a risk management and insurance major. And then it talks about, again, the different companies that are involved. And all the various opportunities. It also has testimonials. What we found is very effective when talking to young people is to have somebody, their age. And most of the testimonials are younger people talking about what they do. And, the response has been very, very positive. We've had over 750,000 visitors. And it's really a tool you can use. And that was really the purpose, is a tool that you can use so that when young people or your friends or your colleagues approach you and talk about, what does the industry do, it provides a tool that you can point them to in order to help them have a more complete understanding of the opportunities in this industry.
Thanks, Peter. Bob, it'd be great. We have a few questions about how do we reach students and let them know about insurance. Maybe you can just briefly remind people what Invest offers in terms of access to students.
Sure. Invest is a 501c3 educational foundation. Its primary purpose is to educate students at the high school and community college levels for a career in the insurance industry. We all know the incredible need for programs like this. We work very closely with Pete and the institutes. In fact, Pete sits on the board of Invest. And our primary goal is to pique the interest of young people at an early age and to let them know that a career in the insurance industry is wildly rewarding. A lot of people, and it's been mentioned by many of my colleagues in the industry, view a career in insurance, and in particular in the distribution system, is not very sexy. Invest dispels that myth. The flexibility afforded to people with careers in the independent agent and broker system is unbelievable. In fact, if you're sitting at a desk 24/7, you're not doing your job. And that's very attractive to millennials. So I would, Debbie Pickford is our executive director of Invest. She is available to answer or to get you involved. Many insurance companies are very, very involved in Invest. We've produced thousands upon thousands of graduates over the years who have entered the insurance industry. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is not a theoretical exercise. It's a real-world, pragmatic, practical solution to what we've been talking about today.
Great, thank you. The next question is on culture and culture for young professionals and millennials. And I'd like to invite Mike McGavick, Mark Watson, and John Doyle to talk a little bit about some of the questions we have around this. I'll start with Mike. You gave a lot of great advice about how young people can speak up and make things happen in the industry. Perhaps you have a few words for those leading those young people about how they can encourage those kinds of conversations and build that culture where young people feel like this is an exciting place to be. Mike, are you there? Maybe he's still on mute. Or, oh, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I'm here. Not sure why.
Oh, did we lose him?
Hello?
Hi.
No, you didn't. I'm here.
Did you hear the
I'm
question?
Here. I did.
Great. Okay.
I'm not sure why it went dead. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay.
Listen, one of the strongest pieces of advice that I would give to anyone on this call is you really need to be thinking about the culture of the place that you work and where you're choosing to bet with your career. You are always going to want to be a part of a culture that is inclusive and that is collaborative and works in a team environment to solve problems. In those environments, it doesn't matter, at least in a healthy environment, it doesn't matter how long you've been at work. What's important is the quality of your idea and your ability to bring your own personal experience to bear to make the result of the team's effort better. That's what we're always looking for, is someone who can help join a team, raise their hand, and make a real difference. The other thing I would say is don't be afraid to be that raised voice. The fact is, often we've been taught in various ways, to take our time and be patient and wait your turn. I think the world has changed radically in that regard, and the cultures that work best, and certainly the culture that I know the best in our industry are trying to build, is one that recognizes that our diverse experience is an advantage and that we need every mind at hand, that everyone has to be engaged, willing to share, and to be creative in solving problems. And any environment that is not encouraging of that, any environment that is not providing the tools so that people feel comfortable doing that, is really a place that you want to get away from and find somewhere that does. So to those who are leading those cultures, I know the people on this call are already devoted to this idea, but I would just say all of us need to insist that it no longer matters if you've been at it 20 or 30 years. Clearly that brings a different perspective, but it's not the only perspective. The perspective of everyone on the team is crucial to coming up with breakthrough ideas.
Thank you. John, maybe you could weigh in a little bit and expand on, some of the comments that you made about all the exciting opportunities there are to reinvent insurance companies and agents and brokers that young people can be excited about.
Sure, Kirsten. And, I want to build on what Mike said, too. I think creating a collaborative environment is absolutely critical. What we talk about a lot here at Marsh is putting the client at the center of everything we do. And I think with all the different contributions of the diverse folks we have on the team here, we can create great solutions for our clients. And that kind of environment is also an exciting place for everyone to work. Tiana makes us a lot better, right? So that's really what what I think is the foundation of the right kind of culture that Mike talked about. But there are new possible innovations that the industry is looking at, and I talked about the three themes: data, distribution, and capital. And there's a lot of history and tradition rooted in our business that has us doing business in a lot of ways very similarly to the way I did it 30 years ago when I began my career. I think there's going to be far more change in the next 5 to 10 years than there's been in the course of the last 30 in my career. And it's going to take people who are willing to speak up, like Mike suggested, and bring new ideas, new thinking, and really introduce new technologies to the industry. There will be people who aren't going to be afraid of hanging on to the past, right? So I think some in the industry might fear some of that innovation, But to me, I think it's an exciting opportunity for all of us to reinvent the way we do our business.
Wonderful. Thank you. Mark, I thought that you did a really great job at talking about the purpose of insurance and what it does for our communities and our businesses. Maybe you can speak a little bit about, from a leader perspective, how to communicate that and inject enthusiasm as young people are joining your organization.
Yeah, thanks. So we spend a lot of time both as an industry and in most companies talking about what we're doing and how we go about it. And I think sometimes we forget to talk about why we do what we do. We've spent a lot of time over the last year in our company in particular making sure that everybody understands why their job is important and how they fit in with the success of the company overall and with our industry overall. Why we come to work every day, how we're trying to help those businesses stay in business that I talked about earlier. And that's a key part of our culture, is making sure that when we get off the elevator in the morning to go to work, we know we're on the same team, we know we're all working together, and we not only know where we're going, but we know why we're doing it.
Great, thank you. And I have a final question that I'd love to send back to Brian, if we can. We have a young person saying they want to be a CEO of an insurance company. How should they go about that and think about building their career? Brian, maybe you can weigh in on that.
Wow. Well, that's a great aspiration, I must say. By the way, it's not easy to become one. There's not that many out there, but I appreciate the enthusiasm around that. Look, if you're going to be a CEO of a company, you have to be steeped in what you do. You have to really know it thoroughly. But you're not going to know everything that everybody does, but you need to know an aspect of it really, really well, so that when you get to that point, you can ask questions of all with a basis of strength, because you've reached a peak in a profession within the industry, right, within your company. So I'd say first and foremost, be really, really good at what you do. Be really, really good at what you do. And the second thing is, be curious. So kind of figure out what everybody else does. And it's not just what everybody else does within your company, but how does this industry work? What is the fundamentals of it? What are we trying to solve? And that curiosity will lead you to who knows what directions. And so, feed that curiosity, and be ready to take that job. Put your hand up, like Mike said. If there's a thing to do, volunteer. Take a risk. We're in the risk business, but I sometimes feel we're the most risk-averse people in the world. So take a chance. Put your hand up. Take that stretch job that will get you to the next level. And it's only through that process of really stretching yourself time after time that you ever get to the very top.
Great. Thank you, Brian.
So Kirsten, should I just summarize for a minute? Can I do that? You allow me to do that? Thanks. So,
absolutely.
Look, we spent a lot of time talking today about the industry, and to some degree, maybe we're preaching to the converted. But we are preaching to the converted, and we're preaching because we have a problem. And we means you. You've got a problem. I mean, you've chosen this industry. I think you made a wise decision, but we got a problem. The problem is we need more people, more talent, more capabilities, and we need it now. And we have another problem, which is we have a very bad image. And so how do we ever fix that image and get the message across? Well, that's where you guys come in, because you are our best possible chance of explaining this business in a way that excites your peers. And so you have to get up and get out and do this. Not just for us, not for the guys on the phone here who've been talking to you, but for you, because it's your industry. You chose it. Now you have to help make it better. So this is something I want you all to get up and, we've been telling you how exciting it is, but you know that. You live it every day. It's a pretty cool job. Get up, get out, and tell your friends, your peers, get to your university, take advantage of the tools that have been listed tonight, today, and other information we'll give you. But I think you're the only ones who are going to solve this problem, really. It's a grassroots movement, and really only you can do it. We can't. No one listens to us. They'll listen to you. I hope they will. And I think you got a pretty exciting story to tell, so if you don't do it right, it's your fault. All right? So anyway, that's the summary. Thanks, Kirsten.
I don't know how to top that, Brian. That's pretty good. Thanks, everyone, for attending from countries all over the world. Thanks to our very distinguished panel of people that we're listening to, at least today, Brian, and the young professionals who joined as well. We will send a follow-up, a link with the recording and more information about how to get involved, and you'll see that from us early next week. So thanks, everybody, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.